Well, Giancarlo, thank you so much for helping with my project. I've been reading through your blog and about becoming a space, um, let's see,
Spacepolitans,
a space politant. Yes.
like cosmopolitans, but with space in at the beginning.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cosmopolitans are the citizens of the world, and in my idea, spacepolitans are the citizens of space. No?
I like it. I hope it catches on.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to thank you for this opportunity. It's really your project. It's really interesting. No, interviewing one person per day until the 2024, the first the first mission on the moon for Artemis program. No, the Artemis 3. Yes, that's really interesting. Your initiative. Yes, thank you.
My original idea was to interview strangers at coffee shops and at the mall and
Uh-huh.
on the streets. And through that interview process, I found out that very few people knew that we were actually going to the moon.
Yes. Indeed, indeed, yes, yes. And there are a lot of people that don't know yet that we will go again to the moon. Yeah.
What do you think it would take to actually reach those people and let them make them aware of it?
Yeah, we can take, for example, my blog. No, so just to give you some insight about it, because it's really on the same with the same mission, we can say, because I've been always in love with space since I was a little boy and so on. I don't work as a professional for space, and it's a pity, but it's my passion. It's my passion. And I was struck some year ago by a landing of the first booster of SpaceX. And from then on, I started again to study about space. And very recently, during the first lockdown here in Italy, because we had a first big lockdown for the COVID-19 pandemic in March, April, and May this year, um, I thought about how I could show to the people, to my neighbors or whatever in the world, the importance of space from Earth. No, because really I see space as an enabler for us, for humanity, to on one side continue to develop and to grow, as in a number. We are already several billions people on this planet, and it cannot sustain in so much longer such a growth we have. No, so we should really look at somewhere else, not only on our planet. And space, space is out there, and the moon is out there. It's the first step. Well, the real first step is Leo, the low Earth orbit, but then there is the moon. No, and so with my blog, my intention is really to share this feeling I have about the importance of space. And there are plenty of information that are highlighting this importance. Not obviously to space professionals, because they know better than me that space is so important, but to the common people. So I really try to give some message with my articles, simplifying the topic a bit. Try to rebuild the history of some topic, and then try to simplify the concept, making some analogy and so on. So this is really my intention, and that's why I think it's important also your kind of project.
Yeah, I definitely. As I was reading the About You page on your blog, I was like thinking we have a lot in common. I'm also not in the space industry. When the internet started taking off, I got into the internet and computing, and then
Yes.
one job leads to another job, and before
Hmm.
long, you realize your passions and your profession aren't exactly fully aligned.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And more or less, we should be on the same age,
Yeah,
more or less.
44.
Yeah, I'm 47, so we are very close. And I had the same path as yours. No, I studied telecommunications engineering, and then going to work for HP. You know, the big.
I worked for HP
Yeah.
also.
You see?
Yeah, I started working for Compaq, and then
Okay.
Compaq
Then the
joined.
merge between the
They merged
two.
exactly.
Yes. Yes, I was there too. I was starting in HP.
Yeah, I started at a small internet service provider here in Houston,
Hmm.
and there was a web developer who used our services in the same building, and he got the contract from Compaq to go and redo
Okay.
their intranet and do standardization. Put the same
Uh,
header and footer and sidebars and stuff.
I
So we
know
needed,
perfectly.
yeah, Compaq inline. I don't know if you remember
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
originally, all these internet sites were completely different, right? And then we
Hmm.
put that little half globe on the top and half globe on the bottom, the little sidebar. And so that's how I got my foot in the door at Compaq. Then we did the showroom, and then they wanted to hook up the showroom with the online store, and then just progress, progress, progress.
Yes, yes. I started in HP with a stage. I was still studying in my um, engineering, telecommunication engineering, and I got the chance to work for HP for a stage. It was about their intranet site and the alignment between different sites, and then I worked also on their external site. So we had more or less the same story there.
But
Okay, that's
Elon Musk is tied into this as well
yeah, yeah,
because he started that company called Click2, which was
yeah.
like an online directory business, which Compaq bought for I think several
A lot
$100 million.
of money. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
which
yes.
then gave him the money to go start what became PayPal,
Pale
and
pal.
then
Yes,
that gave him the money to go and start SpaceX, Tesla, and other
yes.
things. So it's all tied up.
That's amazing. Yes, yes.
And what's happened to Compaq?
Yes. You know. So even you are on the same side as me of people that never witnessed the man on the moon, because last one was in 72. So we
Oh,
are really
exactly.
waiting for.
And actually, the Jim Bridenstine, the current NASA administrator,
Hmm.
he came and talked at our local university, which he had done some. He had graduated from, and I found out that he was born the same year I was. So he
Okay.
is the first NASA administrator not to be
Ah,
born
yes.
during the Apollo era.
Yes. Yes.
So that was kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah. That's
interesting.
great. Interesting, really. The world is not so big, huh?
Oh, exactly. Are disconnected, are
Yes.
misaligned. We only need to talk to each other, like with the purpose
Yes.
of actually communicating.
Yes. 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 Exactly. Exactly.
Uh,
And it was really for me to build this blog was really a need. No, I felt this need during the pandemic because it is really a positive message. No, that we have the chance to really improve ourselves, to expand, to do incredible things. No, and so I felt this need to tell this to the people, and the way I found is this one with this blog. I have also changed my name in Facebook, in Instagram, and I'm publishing things about space, and that's really funny on Twitter. Yeah, it's really great communicating this to people. It's really, I think, one of all the things that happened in 2020, the very positive ones are about space this year. Huh? If you look at what happened so far this year, it's amazing. It's something incredible.
yeah.
Even more.
What are some of the highlights that come to your mind as being things that we've accomplished in 2020 in space that are really notable achievements?
Ah, there are, if I think about one of my favorite topics, it's asteroids. And this year we did a lot of things for the first time or the second time, but really amazing things, no? Like Hayabusa 2 mission from JAXA that was able to catch so much material from the asteroid 300 million kilometers from us. It's was really far away, and it did quite everything automatically. It was really amazing. And also Osiris Rex from NASA that did this incredible job with um, the Bennu, asteroid Bennu, and it will come back later, obviously, but the mission was really incredible to see. And so these are really very important things to highlight this year, that we are able really to launch something we built here that can get out 300 million kilometers and grab a sample and come back safely. And now the spacecraft is also going for an extra mission to other two asteroids to visit them. So it's really amazing what we can do. And these are examples, not to tell about all the hopes from Starship, from SpaceX, and again, Demo 2 Crew 1 for the Crew Dragon spacecraft enable again US to go to the ISS from the American soil. So there are a lot of things we accomplished this year. And if I look to what is planned for next year,
Mm.
the
I
first Artemis mission, for example, is for next year. I'm really looking if SLS will make it for
I
be
know.
ready.
Let's put that to the side for a little bit, and let's talk
Yes,
about the other things to hope for 2021.
yes, yes. And there will be just talk about asteroids, a mission that for me is really important. It's the DART mission that
Hmm.
will take off, will be launched next year. I don't know if you are aware about this mission. It's a mission that will test if we are able to play snooker with asteroids.
I know, but the problem playing snooker sometimes is it goes into the wrong hole.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Well, in this case, we just hope that we are able to do it. No,
yes,
that's the first thing. Then let's see where it will go. Let's see. But it will be already important because it will be the real first mission to test if we are able to do something to prevent or to avoid a possible impact from an asteroid. Up to now, we are only able to see if some of them will get to the Earth sooner or later. That's the only thing we are able to do now. And then there are a lot of hypotheses, and this is the first test we will do, the first test. So for me, it's really, really important mission for next year. And
yeah,
then Artemis 1, obviously, I already told you. And then there will be all the other hopes from Starship that will pave the way for really something that we cannot even imagine for the future.
and also a couple of things that I'm looking forward to. Two uh, U.S. lunar missions to land on the moon. One
Hmm.
by Intuitive Machines, another one by Astrobotic. And Astrobotic is doing a thing with DHL where they're sending DHL move
Yes.
boxes. And I
Yeah,
was
yes.
putting this on a micro SD card. So this video is going to be on that mission
That's
on a micro
incredible.
SD card.
That's
Um,
incredible.
the first time that the Vulcan from United Launch Alliance
Hmm.
launches, and then New Glenn is supposed to launch next year too.
It's quite a bit of a secret, Blue Origin. No, it's not doing things really open air like SpaceX, that is really willing to having all possible eyes on them. No, Blue Origin is more, working behind the curtains. Let's see. I'm really looking forward for them, because up to now, just New Shepard going up and down, perfect. They did a great thing, because it's not even easier to do this. But then, yeah, New Glenn, it's really there, hidden somewhere.
I
Let's see.
know one of our members of our North Houston Space Society recently, I think back in March, started working at Blue Origin, and he's
Oh,
responsible
great.
for getting the building ready in Alabama for their new production facility. And I think because of him, I've been able to interview like three or four Blue Origin people.
Oh,
So
great. I
that's
have to
been
look in your website. Did you already publish them?
yeah, they're all published, but I don't put that
Okay.
they're from Blue Origin. I just kind of like sneak
Okay.
them in there, but I can send you the links to them.
Yes. Send me, send me.
But I have yet to interview anybody from SpaceX, so it's kind of
Ah,
interesting. I've interviewed the girlfriend of a SpaceX employee, so that's as
okay,
close as I got.
okay. You're getting closer.
Getting closer.
Great.
Uh, some people might joke that, um, well, it's kind of interesting on one hand that SpaceX is so out in the public about what they're doing, but then it's hard to find them people to actually interview. But then Blue Origin is so quiet, but they're willing
Mhm.
to be interviewed. It's kind of funny that like that.
Okay,
So
okay,
I
okay.
thought that
So
was neat.
did you discover something not published yet?
No, I
No.
want to make sure that the people I talk to all are in good shape. I don't
Okay.
want them to get in trouble.
Okay.
I want them to be
Right,
happy
right.
for a long time afterwards. Not, oh my gosh, did I tell them that?
Okay, okay.
But I will tell you, one thing I did that they did say is that Blue Origin really likes to talk about what they've done as opposed to what they're going to do. So, um,
Hmm.
so that's kind of a different philosophy.
Yes, yes,
uh,
yes.
um, well, and then James Webb is supposed to
Oh,
finally get
yeah.
launched. Finally.
Finally, it will be really a miracle machine. It will open up a lot of views, like Hubble. It will be another really discovery. Every image will be another discovery for us because uh, I don't know if you have. I followed a bit. You too, I think. The project itself, the construction, the building, the folding, unfolding, and really testing the pieces together. It's really an incredible machine. And the only thing is that now we are getting really on a size that very few rockets can afford to send it. So, or we need more rockets, or we need to do something different, no, like assembling space if we want to do something even more lately after James Webb telescope, something more bigger or whatever, because it's really enormous.
Well, and I mean, you kind of have both things happening. One is with the um, Starship. I mean, I think that James Webb
Mm,
could fit in that unfolded. I think
um, well,
maybe.
yeah, could be. Maybe not completely unfolded because it's really big. But yeah, Starship will be next generation rocket, so bringing a lot of stuff in space. Yes, yes.
And then the other thing is like sats working in conjunction with each other.
Mm,
So you may not actually have a telescope that's physically connected to each other, but
mhm.
is all coordinating their observations on a particular point to kind of like they do with
Yeah.
radio telescopes here on Earth.
Yes, exactly, exactly. The same strategy they use for the black hole image,
Mm.
no? That was really done with a lot of different radio telescopes together, combined together to get it. Yes, yes, yes. That will be another point. Or build them in space. Uh,
Yes, actual
because
and
it is really the another technology that I'm looking after because it will obviously enable us to move outside the earth without pushing their big things that should be already prepared here, no? And because on low earth orbit you can do something like with the ISS. I followed that project. It was amazing. I was 22, 23 years old, and I was really looking at every shuttle mission to see the new piece and the Canadarm, the first Canadarm, and so on, solar panels. And but I think that really be able to build in space, not only putting pieces together, no big pieces, but really building structures starting from basic elements in space will open up another big change for us, another big change for us.
yeah, and actually being able to mine materials in space. I mean, can you imagine mining moon materials, asteroid materials, refining it, building it into some type of structure? I
Okay.
mean, that
Yes,
will
yes.
be a big step for us.
And
Whenever
put them together mining on one side and building on one another side. It's like playing Minecraft in space.
Oh, exactly.
Mining and creating, mining and creating, and putting them together. Just to tell you, I'm finishing a post, an article about asteroids just for this, and I will talk also about this
Uh,
because there are a lot of projects already on this direction that are amazing, amazing. There is a company, a US company called Transastra. I don't know
mhm.
if you, yeah, they are developing a technology to mine asteroids that is really okay. It's
But
really
tell me
impressive.
about it.
You know that they are using developing a technology using the solar energy to concentrate it on a ray, on an optical ray, and eating the rock, the asteroid, with this ray to put it in pieces.
Hmm.
But in order not to disperse these pieces and gases and other volatiles in the rock, they are covering it with a big bag.
Okay.
So there is this spacecraft called ONAB that will cover the asteroid, not so much, not so big, 40 meters in diameter maximum. They will cover it and then starting hitting in with this optical ray to then put it in pieces and collecting everything in order then to refine the material, to get the water out and so on. So it's really amazing because they are working on this kind of technology, and it will be really a very big step ahead, no?
Yeah,
Because there are a
definitely.
lot of technologies for the moon, how to use the lunar regolith, or for Mars. Okay, it's already there. But getting to an asteroid, wrapping in with this bag and then hitting it, it's really something. For me, it's something like like a genius that just think about it. No, how can we mine an asteroid? Oh, let's put it in a bag and hit it with a ray for the solar energy. We have a lot of solar energy out there. Let's do this. Wow, amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's amazing to think the sun is producing energy in all directions, right?
Yes.
And the earth is such a small if you create a sphere about the same orbit as the earth, and you consider how much of the energy falls on the earth versus not on the earth at that sphere,
Yes.
I think the number is around 1/700th billionth. Like,
You can make the calculation, yeah, but it's really a lot.
it's a
It's really
lot. It's a lot. There's so much energy we're not using. Like, I mean,
yes,
the future is nuclear solar. We already got the nuclear reactor. We just have to collect the energy.
yes, yes. But there are projects also about having this kind of power stations in space, big satellites collecting a lot of solar energy. The only difficulty is to beam it down to to Earth. No, if you want to use in space, no problem at all. But if you want to beam it down, that's a bit trick. But there are a lot of projects also on this. A lot of projects. I got in touch with some of these projects on the web for another article of my blog that is really the manifesto, no, of the space pollutants and the connection between the Sustainable Development Goals from the UN. And there is a goal, obviously, about energy. And I also linked space to this goal, thanks in the future for these satellites collecting solar energy. Yeah, there are, space can help everything, can help on every issue we have on Earth.
Yeah, I mean,
Quite, quite.
uh,
Technologically speaking.
yeah, the majority of our problems are human made, and
Yes.
I, I, I don't, I don't think we got a good path to the technology to fix those problems yet. But
No, no, no. But we can even learn. We can even learn also from the human problems. No, like the one of the biggest we have. It's collaboration. We have a big example with the ISS that when we collaborate together, we can succeed in doing incredible things. And it can be an example. Obviously, it cannot be really the solution itself. No, but an
um,
example.
One problem of space-based solar power is how to actually get the power down here.
Yeah.
And in your blog, on your manifesto, you talk about moving a lot of the activities into space.
Yes.
So being able to use the power on site kind of allows for you to make good use of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why, you ask to many people why we have to go to the moon, but the moon, it's really there for us. There is, yes, it's great. There are a lot of scientific studies we have to do on it, but since there is no, at the moment, life there, we can really think to move heavy industries in space or on the moon itself, because the moon, has a lower, smaller gravity dwell, no? So you can leave the moon quite easily than not leaving Earth. And there is no atmosphere, so you don't have to balance with winds or clouds or the weather. It's always the same weather on the moon, no? And so it can be really our next industrial zone. Let's see it like this. And I can see the link from Bezos, for example, because he's a big fan of this idea, no, moving heavy industries out of the Earth, on space and on the moon, obviously, because you will need a very strong logistic process and logistic service, no, to go from the Earth to the moon, from the Earth to the moon. So yes, I can think of some experience in logistic, no? And so even DHL now it's wants really to be on the game, because if we industrialize the moon, we can really have a lot of traffic between the Earth and the moon, and there we can really use solar power. It's there for us. Well, the only difficulties on the moon is about the fact that it's rotating. So you have 14 days daylight, 14 days night. So you should deal with this. But using these satellite stations there to beam down to the moon will be easier, because there is no atmosphere and there is no way to disperse the energy. So yeah, that's really something I think, and I hope for the future. No, because we have a lot of issues with heavy industries on our planet, a lot of pollution, and it will be, in I think it will be not so easy to really avoid to pollute the earth if we continue with the same activities we are doing today here. So as
Yeah,
you said, my manifesto is see the Earth in the future like a big natural park, no, in which really the human activities are completely integrated there, but without impacting the wildlife, without impacting the natural equilibriums in the environment, and so on. So putting heavy industries out there will be one big move in this direction.
it is. It's going to be quite a challenge requiring lots of innovation to make it
Oh,
happen.
yes, yes, innovation, patience, and but I had this idea, and I put this idea in the manifesto because I see that we are really at the beginning, but there are a lot of signs in this direction. And if I think just this year, for example, a nightmare for some other topic, but really for space, again, and I thought about this idea at the beginning of this year. Now it's even more stronger after 1 year like this one, and it will be stronger again next year. So I don't know. I don't think that in my lifetime I will see that thing happen. No, but maybe my son or my nephews, if I should have some, uh, could see some more step in that direction for sure.
Um,
I hope.
I talk to a lot of people who are like, they feel like we will eventually go out to space, but it won't happen in their lifetime. And the part that I've always challenged about is, the people back in the Apollo era thought it would happen in their lifetime. Like this is like 50 years ago. They thought it
Yes.
would happen, and I almost feel like that this is a sign that people um kind of uh, have lost some faith that it could happen quickly. And the part that I'm always challenged to kind of understand is what's going to change in future generations to make it happen that couldn't happen now. Like what in those future generations would cause it to happen then that we couldn't bring forward to now? And then if it's not happening now, why do we think it's going to happen in the future? Those are like the two challenges I have.
Yes, there are two big challenges. I also heard about that we have already the technology, for example, to go to Mars and to settle down to Mars. From my point of view, these technologies will not help us as they are now, because we need to test them. I love the way SpaceX is testing, destroying, because it's really doing things. No, we should really first go to the moon and then to Mars. I agree with this, because the moon for us, it's really a test bed. We can test there a lot of technologies that we can use then on Mars. And I have already asked myself about the question, why 50 years ago we went to the moon and then for 50 years we stopped without developing more this idea there. Well, at that time, my idea, I also read something about the technology was there, but just to do what they did. It was not enough mature to do something structured, like staying there, like exploiting what there is there. No, so it was just enough to do what they, and it was, from my point of view, even a miracle. Every time I see all the books with the software that was used for the Apollo, every time I think, oh gosh, how is it possible that it worked out? No, and but it did. And I think that what they did, not on the moon in these 50 years, but on Leo, was really something structural, something that we can replicate and do more and more. So we are, in a certain way, mastering now low Earth orbit. And this is a big step. This is a big step. Now we have to do the same thing with the moon. So you cannot live only with enthusiasm, like in the Apollo era. No, they say, "Oh, we did there. Now Mars in 2 months. Now, it's not really like this. It's a matter of having mature technologies and experience. Experience. We have now a lot of experience in low Earth orbit, and we have to build it on the moon and then on Mars. That's why, for me, there will take some time. Even if technologies are accelerating, we have developments in every minute. There is something new that happens in technology, in science. Don't think about science. It's really incredible the level we reached so far. And but really, from my point of view, it's a matter of experience, and you cannot build the experience in 1 month. So that's why it will take some time more. Space is not easy, the usual statement I see is space is hard. Yes, it's hard. It's truly hard. But you can really master it with the experience. Technology on one side and experience on the other side. Not talking about money, investment. Okay, that's really another story. Politics. Okay, even that is another story. Very influencing on the topic, but another story.
But you know, back during the Apollo era, where we didn't know how to do it, we were trying out different ideas. There's a lot of innovation going on, but launching things into space is so expensive
Yeah.
that failure is very costly, and you want to use the most proven way of doing things. Now, when you use a proven way, you're using something you've already done before. You're not
Mm-hmm.
innovating something new, and so it's kind of provided this restriction. So we've actually not advanced in transportation space because we have a place that sort of works, a way that sort of works, and to do anything different may be catastrophic. Um,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so, you know, um, our advancement in space exploration hasn't been a function of time. It's been a function of risk tolerance and
Mm-hmm.
willing to try things new. And you really didn't see this until SpaceX, I think, really started coming on the scene.
Yeah, but what they did to be so innovative and taking the risk is really using a lot of new technologies like artificial intelligence or these really complex softwares. In the end, if you take Falcon 9, it's a machine.
Hmm.
So you can risk with a machine. You can take your risks. If you take the Dragon capsule, it did a lot of experience with the cargo side. So taking the risk that you can lose a cargo like they did, or because it
Yes.
happened. No, so really, this is the way you do the things that are not harming lives, and then you can learn a lot, make experience out of it, and then you can bring it to humans. Hmm? That's why I think that yes, Artemis with the man on the moon will be important, and it's really, uh, you know. Something that should influence people. It's more the impact on people for this mission that not really the outcome. Because if you look at China, their plan is really to do a lot of things with spacecrafts, with robots. They want first to build the base at the South Pole and then bringing people there.
Mm.
So they are going in another way, not bringing first humans and then building up, but building up and then sending humans so that they can learn. Because what is missing to China is the experience. So they have to learn, and we learn a lot. They have already learned a lot, because if you look at all these new missions now, Chang'e 5, for example, was really something amazing, incredible from a country with no experience on that. And they are ramping up, but from my point of view, they strategy is more in this direction. It's more in this direction. So that's it.
And some other things that are happening next year. The Russians are getting back into space tourism.
Mm,
I
yes.
understand they're sending an actress up to the International Space Station.
Yeah, they are using still the Soyuz.
The
So
Soyuz. Yes. Well,
it's never
another
seen the system.
example, another
It's
example of time not
yes,
necessarily meaning progress.
exactly. So it's okay. You use the Soyuz. We used it and until for every ISS mission until Demo 2 that we were able to do something different. No, but I think that Russia is a bit struggling. I don't know if it is a matter of money, or probably yes, or will. I think money, because the experience they have, capabilities they have, engineering they have. It's really a matter of probably having a public plan, because we don't know. There is the Lunar Globe program for the moon missions, no, but there is really not something declared with timelines like Artemis, for example. So they are trying to catch up a bit. We will launch Tom Cruise on the ISS. Now we will do it first with another actress. No, if I remember correctly, it will be an actress that will go on the ISS. So they are trying to do something in that direction, but
But
let's see.
the thing about the Russians, they have people that have built Soyuz, but they don't have people that have designed Soyuz.
Yes, yes.
So, that's a completely different activity than following the same blueprint you've been following. Um, so I haven't seen any signs of any type of new engineering from the Russian program.
That's correct. That's correct. They have the experience, but like we don't know if they have also the ability to do something new. No, we don't know. Maybe yes, maybe not. We don't know. It's not that they just launched a new missile, if I remember, a new rocket in this year, but after probably 5 7 years, with 7 years of delay, something like this. I don't know if it was more demonstrative to say that we are doing something, or really a project with some development and timelines in the future. I know that last year they signed an agreement with China for the lunar missions. I don't know if they will combine together. If they will do, it will be really a great match because they will bring the experience and the knowledge they have, Russians. On the other side, the Chinese will bring money and engineering now, so the production side. So probably it could be a good match, mainly for the experience the Russians can bring in. But they are quite different cultures. They should really try to work together and build something completely new, no, on that side. So let's see if what will be the future, because from Russia, from China, you don't receive so much information. From the US, obviously, it's easier. From Europe, it's easier, but from those sides, it's not so easy too.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, they're taking the Blue Origin approach instead of the SpaceX.
Exactly. You're right. You're right. Good
Uh,
analogy.
so I was reading your manifesto, and most of it made complete sense to me. There was one part that I think I might need a little bit more explaining, and
Okay.
that's around um, the radio frequency, radio waves piece about kind of doing away with that. I was wondering if you could talk
Okay.
a little bit more
Yeah. Yeah.
about that.
Okay. 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 I'm uh, um, I did telecommunication engineering, so I tried to put something there. And radio frequencies, even if they are not harming the health, they are still something interfering with life. Even if they are not harming, but they are interfering. If we want really to be on an environment that is, let's say, free from human activities or human interference, and let's see like this interferences, we should really try to limit the radio communication, and having as much wired as possible. No, and radio, of course, you cannot wire to the moon or to the satellites, because you need to use these radio frequencies and radio communication even to observe the Earth. But it's a really low power signal. No, while if you use antennas here on the ground to send signals on the ground, you can have really interferences. So that's why I was saying that, from my point of view, if you want to be really with less possible interferences with wildlife, we should limit the radio communication and having more wired as possible.
Well, it's interesting point. At least with the wireless communication, you have to have the tower or sending and receiving station in one place and
Hmm.
another place, but you're able to leave all of the land and ecosystem between those two places completely undisturbed. Whereas
Yes.
with the wired communication, you need to actually physically go into those places to run the wire.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
it's,
Yeah, exactly. You're right. You're right. But it will be like a web. No, there will be, of course, cities, because we need to live on the earth. Obviously, I don't see the earth without humans. It's not possible, and it's not really. We deserve to stay here on our planet. It's our home. But I see like a web. Like, there are wires, of course. You can put them on the under the ground, not to have it openly, or you can integrate them in the even if you do something that can be more natural, less impacting animals or trees. Uh, Near my father house, there is a incredible thing. There is a wooden pole for the electricity,
mhm.
and it's completely covered by vegetation. It really seems a tree.
Oh, that's awesome. You have to send me a
That's awesome.
picture.
Yeah, I will send you. It's really awesome, because you see this. I don't know which kind of thing is, but it's not something that can live without a structure. They are just going on the structure and staying there, but they are really, it's full of this kind of plant and with a lot of flowers and with a lot of things. It's really amazing. I will send you the picture. So probably you can even think something like this, no, to be more integrated with the nature. But if you look at the interferences really on the spectrum, on the radio spectrum, the cable is not doing anything, but the wireless communication is interfering.
Well,
Is
what do
interfering.
you think about like point-to-point laser communication? It seems
Oh,
like,
why not? Why
uh,
not? Why
and
not?
then you,
You know, the only thing that's point-to-point laser is subject to weather.
hmm.
So you can have two towers looking each other and sending the message, but if it is raining, you have to deal with the attenuation. You have to deal with all the possible effects on your beam. While in space is perfect. In space is perfect because there is nothing between the two satellites or whatever. In space, it will really be the next step of communication.
And if there is something, it'd be good to know about it. But
Yeah.
when,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
um, so you must have strong feelings about Starlink and the thousands of satellites that are being put in orbit to provide
Yes.
global internet.
Yeah. I see benefits. Now. I see benefits now for the next 10, 20 years. Uh, um, when it will be, at the moment, it's the easiest way in the next probably 10, 20 years to reach remote lands on Earth.
Hmm.
And there are a lot, yes, maybe in percentage there are not so much respect to what the people living in the cities, but there are people that are not accessing the internet. I think also to the developing countries, there are a lot of people there not access to the internet, and this could help. It depends really if they can find a business model that is not so expensive, because if you have to buy the antenna, orientate the antenna to take the signal, and this is a bit annoying as a process. But if in the future, for example, it will be just a matter like the phone satellite communication, to have a device that can reach directly the message from the satellite, that could be really a game changer. But actually now with the antenna, the ground antenna, it's really if you have a ground station to receive the message with the satellites. But I think that in the future we could have something, really in a unique device, speaking with talking with the satellites and so on. But I see it, these constellations, SpaceX, Starlink, or OneWeb, now it's starting again to send satellites out there. Or what's the name of Amazon's Kepler?
Kepler, yeah, that's
Kepler
right.
Kepler project. That's another one. They will really help this. They will really help to reach remote zones that cannot access to the internet now. And you can enable many things with it. Internet is enabling quite every service. I work from home since months now, so we can survive this pandemic because we can use internet. The internet. Without it, it could
I
have been a
know.
disaster. A disaster.
Can you imagine if it happened back in 1990?
Yeah. Everything would have stopped really, or you can have we could have more casualties than today, because you cannot lock down people if they have to work out. No, if they can work at home, okay, you can lock down things, but otherwise it would be a disaster in the 90s. Yes, of course.
And you remember the 1990s. In 1990, I think you would have an easier time explaining to somebody about why astronauts float and the rocket equation and all sorts of things that are difficult to understand. Then they would be able to understand email our web shopping, our Facebook. Like in 1990, can you imagine going to somebody and explaining to them Twitter or explaining to them, Zoom?
But think about this. Think about taking your phone. You like my cover?
Yeah.
Taking your phone and with a yeah
Well,
with a with a working one. Still connected. Get back to the past for 30 years in the 90s and show them what you are doing. With your
they
finger moving here, moving there.
they
Now
would have
I
no
don't know if
clue. They would have no
no,
clue what you're doing.
absolutely
They would see you
like a
doing this. They're
magician.
like, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Like a magician. Now we look at The Expanse. I don't know if you have looked at the fifth season. I already seen all the episodes, of course. And they are using devices like this. They are transparent. They are, with lights, but they do like we do, like this, moving the finger, sending there, sending here, moving, changing. Okay. Can you imagine the same idea 30 years ago?
Yeah.
So all these people like Star Trek with the
Well,
communicator.
and
Wow, what are they doing? But sending, doing things like this. It was
and I don't know, but there's like one where they like had, they just made their hand like this and it became a computer. I don't remember if that's from the Expanse or something else, but it's kind of neat. It's like you no longer really have a physical device. It's kind of
yes,
just part of your
a,
environment or part of you, and just
yeah. It's
materializes when you need it.
yeah, a projection. It's I think it's the Discovery,
A
Star Trek
discovery.
Discovery.
Oh, okay. Yes, that might be it.
Yes, yes, because they touch something and they have the image here. And they work with the light and touch the light and do things with the light. Yes, yes, yes.
But
Amazing.
it's amazing. I imagine people in the 1980s or 1970s who were working on connecting two computers together, what have you. I wonder if they had any idea that the 1990s would be so transformative. I mean, it's just like we went from being only having universities and governmental institutions connected. We had like the dial-up BBSs, where
Hmm.
you would get like listings of places where you could call with your modem, and it felt so cool. Of course, you always had people pick up another line and disconnect you, but that's a different story. Um, uh, and then it just like changed. Like all of a sudden, it was like, I mean, yeah, it's just like a really transformative. Like
Yeah,
to look at the
incredible.
world in 1990 versus 2000,
Hmm.
it
Yes,
was completely different.
completely different. I remember those years. I was at the university studying telecommunications. No, so I remember the first time I connected my PC with the internet with a modem. It was 8.6 kilobound or something. It was, but it was incredible for me. I went to the data center at the university, and there were a lot of Unix machines that were connected to the internet. No, oh wow, that's really something for the future. It was indeed, and it was very transformative. I remember that we studied that the modem, exchanging the information with the standard phone line was
Mm.
really something limited, no, because you needed what was the name, ISDN lines to get AYA with coaxial cables, no, or think even higher than this, and you were limited on the copper line because of the noise, because of a lot of technical limitations to 56 kilobound. Okay, and this was a limit on the line because of the noise. And for us, was like like the speed of light. It was a limit.
Mm.
Oh, you could not go over this. Then suddenly it came the ADSL. Oh, what was a DSL? No, so I remember a fair with a very big machine, big calculator, and I asked to the guy, but was a demonstration for ADSL. What is this? And he said the filter to filter out the noise. No, a
Wow.
calculator dedicated to this. Now we have this little box from the telecommunication provider that is giving you a DSL in a little device like this, and it's pretty normal. No, at that time was really to overcome an impossible limit, but it's standard business now, and you can have the optical fiber. Okay, and go on and go on. But just as an example, those years were really transformative. Yes, for our lives, absolutely.
And I think one reason they were transformative is anybody could invest and participate in it. Like
Hmm.
you just buying a computer and hooking up to a network suddenly made the network more powerful because now there's one more node on it, and that's like a private investing. And then you could start a ISP or a website. It was
Yes,
everybody could add value to it, and it became
yes.
cumulative.
Value services. I remember the beginning of the online shopping. No, the beginning there were these kiosks with a website with a lot of shops in there, giving the structure to do the online shopping to standard business or new businesses starting from scratch. Amazon, for example. Just,
Yeah, I know.
quite a lot.
1994, they started, I think,
Yeah. Yes.
selling books
And
online, and everybody was like, "What are
yeah.
you doing? You should. Barnes and Noble is going to crush you. You have no hope. No hope."
No, zero hope. Zero. Okay. Okay. That's it. Was incredible. Yes, those years, and I think that the I don't know if already the 20s, but yes, we can say the 20s or the 30s will be transformative in the same way for space.
Yeah, I keep thinking so too. Between like SpaceX and Blue Origin, but the thing is that's missing is this ability for individuals to kind of contribute at the same level. Whenever you kind of open it up so that can happen, I think you'll see a lot more activity.
Yeah. But the difference in space between these years and the past years is that now we have a lot of commercial agreements. So we have a lot of private companies working on it. Before they were just the same few companies building things on projects from the space agencies. Now with the opening up of NASA, for example, but now also the ISRO in India, they open up to the commercialization of space recently, very recently. There are a lot of startups there that are taking the knowledge from the space agencies, even the good scientists or engineers, to build companies to create to produce rockets or satellites or other things like that. And this will be the step, because they were, as you said, for the internet, moving from the universities to the open world, no, to the commercial side. You could start up an ISP on your own, no. It was really the key to develop it, and it will be also for space. It will be also for space. Same thing. That's why I don't know if it will be the 20s or the 30s, the same, or maybe they're both together, combined together. No, this will be really start to accelerate on the space development. There are, just to uh, give you something about the asteroids. There is this UN treaty, the Outer Space Treaty, that is saying that no country can put the flag on space, on the moon or whatever. If you put the flag, it's just demonstrative, but the moon is not yours. But it doesn't say anything about the private companies. So if a private company is grabbing something from space and bringing on the Earth, for example, they can do it.
Well,
So
I
there is a limit with the lunar treaty. because the Moon Treaty, sorry, the Moon Treaty is limiting this, but it's not signed by the major countries.
I I think I've always been a little bit challenged about that because companies are always chartered by the governments who are parties to the lunar theory to the outer space treaty, and so um, they really don't have an existence outside of that country, right? So
Yes.
um, any type of I, I the theory that seems to make the most sense to me is kind of the idea of like international waters and fishing.
Hmm.
You can't own the ocean, but if you grab some fish and put them on top of your boat, those fish are yours, and you can do what you
Yes.
want to with it.
Yes.
So that makes a little sense to me. I think it seems to make sense. I think in
Yeah,
terms of what we can
you
do.
know, this will be even, the companies are getting where there is a business.
Hmm.
So if they see money, we had already some example of companies that wanted to mine the asteroids in the past, but it was too early for them, and they didn't succeed in doing this. But in the future, if they really find a way to mine materials with and making some money out of them, so it would be less the cost to get there, taking the material and selling, obviously. If they make some money, you will see a big development because they will put effort there. No, like it is, it should be. I hope it will be with the Green Deal or other things on the green economy, that companies are putting effort in advancing green technologies and so on, because they see there could be the potential for business. It will be the same thing. If they see the potential for business, they will do. They will do, and it will be amazing. It will be amazing. For example, now the commercial part is living on the space agency's money. No, so SpaceX, it's there because NASA is paying them, or other space agencies, to send cargoes on the ISS, to send people now on the ISS, or satellites on orbit. But it's really, the next step will be if we can go over this. So companies that can do things in space without getting money from space agencies or governments, but directly on a standard market, no, between companies, or between companies and consumers, like Starlink, for example, or things like that. This will be really the next step, big next step.
Um, I had a question about your blog. Do you keep it in Italian also?
My wife is asking me this. Why don't you publish in Italian? Well, yes, it's next step. It's next step. Now I'm taking. I had the need to say these things, and I found that in English was the first thing to do. Was a big double challenge for me as an Italian to write in English. Well, I have my sister helping me on this because she's living in England, and she's very great with English. So she is reviewing, editing, reviewing at the end
I
my
I saw your poem.
yes. And but I'm organizing the articles I did in topics, like I did for the manifesto, for example, because manifesto is putting together the three starting articles that I published in the 22nd of April, because it was the 50th Earth Day. No, I took this, particular day to start my work there. And after I have reorganized the website also with these pages, I will translate into Italians. Yes, and then I will do articles both English and Italian. I have to learn a bit more on WordPress because I'm using WordPress to make the two languages, but it will be another good challenge to do.
Um, and do you have like a local space enthusiast club or something like a chapter of National Space Society or something else there?
No, no. At the moment, I'm lone wolf at the moment.
Well, there could be a lot of potential
Yes,
people around you that are interested too, but they just feel
yes.
like nobody else is interested. And sometimes kind of bringing them together and having like social events and talking
Yeah,
about
that
stuff,
could
launch
be a, a
parties.
a great idea. Yeah, I felt even the need to link with someone in this way, but I was looking more outside. So I'm a member of the NSS, National Space Society, trying to understand what is the and to participate, if possible, to the Space Ambassador program they have to learn, no, how they so structure organization is working on this to learn from them. We will see. I've just sent my my request. I already put space ambassador somewhere in my social media, so, because I feel like this. I feel like I want really to spread the word, But at the moment, I didn't look in the neighbors if this is something like this. No, not yet. But that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I have to put this in the next steps. No, to
Well,
think.
let me tell you my story. So I wanted to create a local group here, and I contacted. I was thinking about just doing it independently, and then I was like thinking, the National Space Society have their chapters, organization type things. So I was like, well, maybe it'd be better to just create a local chapter. So I emailed the NSS and I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about creating a chapter. Can you let me know all the members in the area?
Uh-huh.
And they sent me back a list of like 50 people. I send them
Ah,
an email saying, hey, I'm going to start this chapter. I get responses from maybe 2 or 3 people who says, well, I'm not really interested in putting the chapter together, but if you start something, I might show up for a meeting or two. So not too
hmm.
really encouraging. And you need, in order to start a chapter, you need to have 3 members that are NSS. Um, and you need to have like a president, a secretary, and a treasurer. So it's like I just get my wife and my son to sign up.
that's
Got that taken care
that's
of.
really a great start. That's really a great start. You start on your inner circle, and then start with the will to enlarge it a bit and a bit. Yeah, that's a good start. Yes.
And so in 2018, January, we had our first meeting at my house. I invited all my friends. I put on Facebook. I put it on Meetup. And I think we had like, maybe 10, 15 people show up. I don't remember
Wow.
exactly. And, we had meetings every month since then, except for one. We took 1 month off. So we've had 35 meetings over the past 3 years. And we've had guest speakers come and talk, and we're having our first business meeting today with first elections. So I'm going to
Ah,
have some other people that are going to take a leadership role in this organization. So it it's sometimes it's just a matter of faith and sticking with it. We've had some meetings
sure.
where it was only myself and 4 or 5 new people. You started meeting in the library. Of course, that closed earlier this year, so it's been on Zoom. But it's kind of worked well. I'll send you the link to our
Wow.
website, and we got our since I think April. We've been doing it on Zoom, so you can see all the recordings of our meetings and other information. But
Wonderful.
it's been kind of neat. I kind of it's really difficult. It helps if you have 1 or 2 other people that are as enthusiastic as you are, and then kind of provide that core. It's really
Yes.
difficult if you're the only enthusiastic person and people are just kind of being nice and showing up from time to time and not really participating or contributing. But you just kind of have to stick with it until you find the right people. Uh,
That's really an interesting story. Thank you, because I will ask NSS if they have a chapter in Italy at least, because I know they have ambassadors in Italy because I asked for it. I asked if they are accepting ambassadors from Italy. No, they say yeah, we have. The only thing is that you have to send us the slides in English, because obviously that's correct. But I will ask them if they have a chapter here.
but not anymore. After you get involved, now they can send the slides in Italian and you can check them off.
You're right. You're right. You're right. That's really a very good next step. Yes. Yes. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
I,
this.
are you familiar with the story? Let's see, Don Quixote, the man from La Mancha. It's like
No.
uh, it's here in the U.S. is taught as being the very first novel ever created. It's a Spanish story. Uh,
Uh-huh.
um, anyway, I just was curious if you had heard about it. I sometimes I so Don Quixote is
Yes, yes. Sorry, sorry. It's the English pronunciation
yes.
because
Sorry
we know
about
it
that.
as Don Quixote.
Don Quixote.
Yes, 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 yes. The fight against the windmills. Yes, 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 yes. Don Quixote. Okay, okay.
But here's a person about our age, I think, who gets so taken up with like chivalry and knighthood and what have you, and he's reading all the books and his family doesn't know what to do about him and stuff like this, and he goes off on this quest. I feel like Quixote. I feel like him sometimes. I was wondering if you felt like that occasionally.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It happens quite frequently. Yes. And when I feel like this, I think about the windmills. Okay, should I fight the windmills or not? I will keep my doing what I like to do, and then let's see if the windmills will follow me or they will follow the wind. Let's see.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So if it was safe and affordable, would you go to space?
absolutely. I have applied to Space for Humanity as
Ah,
a citizen astronaut. I don't know if you are aware about this program.
I
Yes.
am. Yeah.
I did my little video explaining why. It was 2 years ago when I applied. Unfortunately, I'm not in the first round. Maybe I'm not so interesting for them. There are a lot of interesting people willing to do this, but I will keep on going. And I have already answered a new questionnaire they sent out, and keep my finger crossed. If I should uh, choose a way to go to space, I would like to go with Virgin Galactic.
Okay, on the
You know,
suborbital flight.
yeah, feeling that when you detach from the mothership, wow, and then feeling the rocket, wow, bringing you out there, it should be really a big emotion, and then floating there, feeling the overview effect, coming back a different, well, I don't know, a different person, but probably yes, yes. I think the overview effect is changing everybody. Everybody that can feel it is coming back changed from before. So I
Uh,
will do it. Yes, of course.
have you heard about another thing called Space Hero?
Space?
Hero.
Not really. Not. I don't remember it.
Well, they're just kind of getting started, but they're planning to
Space
have a
Hero.
worldwide reality TV show contest where they'll select an individual to go to the International Space Station for 10 days.
Oh, Space Hero.
Yeah,
Sorry, I take
Space
notes.
Hero me dot me.
Space Hero dot me. Okay.
And they have
I'm an old guy. No, I'm an old-fashioned guy. I have to write it down.
yeah, yeah, same.
You see.
Exactly.
Amazing.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I think all they have on their website right now is the place to sign up for an email list. But they had like the Space Insiders program that they had applications open for a few months ago. I applied for that, got accepted, and we
great.
just had our first orientation meeting yesterday. And
Wow.
they're they're planning to have a big announcement sometime in the next year about it. But the same company that's sending Tom Cruise to the International Space Station is the same company that's sending the winner of this contest to the International Space Station. So that makes me think, very that they have kind of it all set up a little bit better than some
Hmm.
previous attempts of similar things.
Okay. I will have a look for sure. I will have a look for sure, and probably I would apply. I will apply for sure.
Yeah, nothing to apply to yet. From what I understand, is the applications be available sometime next year, but
Okay.
definitely worthwhile signing up on the email list and
Yes. Yes.
keeping an
Newsletter.
eye
Yes.
on it
Yes.
for sure.
Great. Thank
Uh,
you also for this suggestion. I took a lot of suggestion from you today. That's really a lot of gifts for me. Yeah, it's Christmas in a few days. Yes.
so would you go to the moon?
Oh, well, if I think about as a desire, yes. of everything I can do, to go in space or whatever. I'm, you know, probably I'm not even be so sure to desire so much, no. But I would, yes. If you ask me, yes, I would go there. Yes,
How
yes.
about immigrate to Mars?
Mars, it's a different story. Mars is a different story because going to the moon, it's from my point of view, going and coming back.
Yes.
Mars, I'm not so sure that today we can go and come back. Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. Up to now, if you ask me tomorrow, would you go with Artemis 3? Yes, no problem. If you ask me, would you go with the third launch of Starship? Well, let's think about.
You're like, does that include the last one or not?
So you see, to be a bit realistic, probably maybe in the future, if I see someone coming back for the moon, I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure. From Mars, we are a bit so not so close, not so close. But if you ask me, if in case in the future we will be able to get there and come back, I will say yes, of course, also to Mars, of course.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time. Is there anything else that you want to talk about that we didn't get to?
I want to do one thing.
Ah,
I have prepared the page on the moon about the moon, and
yes.
I will publish it now.
Well,
Okay.
I'll add the link to it to the post with this video then.
Okay. Just I was really thinking about this. I mean, I like to do things in particular moments, like publishing in the 50th Earth Day, the first articles, and today with you publishing the page on the moon. That is mixing the two articles I did already.
That's awesome. Well,
Great.
thank you so much. I hope to stay in touch. And
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. Thanks to this.
yes, exactly.
And then maybe we can even talk in the future. But I think that you are talking so much in these days. Huh? Let's see later on.
Someday I might come to Italy. It'd be nice to
Wow,
hang
yes.
out
Yes. Oh, I
and
can come to
together.
the US.
That would be great. We could go to
Yes.
the Space Center and go down to Boca Chica and see a
Yeah.
Starship launch.
I
And
have a little dream for 2022, and it's to be there for Psyche mission launch.
oh, okay, in the Kennedy Space Center. Watch the
Yes, so to make a trip in the US and really be there for the launch and then getting to see Boca Chica, the Space Center, and so on. So that's a little dream there, but let's see. Let's see the conditions.
that'd be awesome. I was actually planning to go to Dubai in October to the International Astronautical Congress, and they're also having the World Expo there at the same time.
Uh-huh. Great.
So that might be something. If you feel like stopping by Dubai,
Yes.
it's probably
Okay.
what a 6-7 hour plane trip for you.
Yeah. if possible, if possible.
Yeah.
Why not? Great.
Oh, very well. You have a good
Well,
evening.
you too. Thank you, and long life and prosper.
I like it. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.